Hello everybody and welcome to the most prepared live stream in the world, where, as you can see, I have knocked the camera out of alignment, but I have created a control panel earlier today. Yes, literally earlier today. It was just before I removed the drawing pins from the track after having stuck it down. I'm hoping we're going to get all this done and we're not going to run out of wire because, I forgot to order wire. So it's all going well. Oh, well, my screws are too long. So as I say, the most prepared live stream in the world. Everything is going to go brilliantly. Good evening, Paderborn. How are you? Have transfers on the C-Class. Well, hey, I look forward to seeing it on Tuesday when you come down the shop. So, cats and transfers on the C-Class. Professional streamer. I am the most professional streamer, as we all know. So yes, we have a control panel of sorts. You'll notice it's some bits of it are slightly discoloured. I don't know if that's showing up on camera. I didn't seal the ink on the thing before sticking it on there, so that went well. But we do have a layout with all the tracks stuck down now, so that's a start. Oh, also, because I'm super prepared, I bought some of those screw terminal electrical connectors for putting the point motors on, and now I've lost them. So it's all going well this evening. Mauve looks white. Yeah, it is white, but some bits of the grey for the track have gone green. Tuesday is definitely good. I don't have royal duties until the evening. Excellent. And there I go, punching the camera again. Because, I have loads of room to move in here and the camera doesn't get in my way constantly. So, yes, tonight's plan. Point motors. Which, you'll be glad to hear, I didn't completely forget how to wire whilst doing the pre-stream chat. So, with everything's going to be great. I mean, I've remembered how to do it now, but yeah. It was going really well. Ink looks fine to me. That might just be the camera. Yeah, that'll just be the camera. Hastings Carnival Queen for the year. Solenoids. Yes, solenoid point motors. Solenoids with... Let's move the camera to where I'm not going to punch it. So go on, focus for me, camera. Solenoids with an internal switch. Oh, there we go. Focused. So we've got, or not. We've got an internal switch controlled by the solenoid firing. We also have a spring just here, which makes it a lock-in point motor. So wherever I leave that, it stays, it does not fall freely. The idea being that I can then remove all this bit from up the top here and have the board just looking nicer. Hi, you're German disease free. Good evening, Kevin. I am indeed germ and disease free. How are you? So, for those wanting to copy me because I have all the best ideas, we'll see. Let's get it done first. These are the SEEP PM4 point motors from Gauge Master because, Gauge Master are good to me. I like Gauge Master. We've got 5 of these to attach to the layout, along with a CDU to power them. This is once again Gauge Master CDU because Gauge Master are good to me. Which I am gonna just realised I have left I've taken it out its thing, left the instructions elsewhere. Let's see if this shows up enough. No. Oh, super prepared. Because it tells me which is which on this side. I know what I can do. If I had... There's me snips. No, you imagined that. I dropped nothing. Gauge Master, best analog controllers ever. They are indeed. I know this little shop that stocks the full range. Well, you know, we can get the full range. We don't keep it all in stock. Really spawn, and we're fantastic. We're called Train Times. And I am not sponsored. Those are huge capacitors. They are, and that is very old-fashioned PCB, and yet it is still the PCB they use. This is a new one. So power goes in on this side. Now if I take these two wires that I'm not even going to bother stripping the ends off of right now, and plug them in like so, I will not accidentally put these the wrong way round and put the input into the output, because the input is here. Oh, great, absolutely great, thank you, excellent, glad to hear it. And the Cabs one has just subscribed, thank you for subscribing. It's not often we get one of those mid-stream. And once again, I bet you didn't hear that go off, did you? Like you should have done. Shill. I'm the biggest shill, Sophia. That's not a lie. Still works, I'm sure. It's intriguing to see those curvy designs. Yes, indeed, it does work. It works very well. Gauge Master, is this a Sussex thing going on? The fact they're in Sussex is irrelevant. They're just really good. Two white wires. AC input, so they can be the same colour. Or it's an aircraft control panel, because they are all white wires. A shop stock wire, it does, in many pretty colours, as Sophia says. Indeed, there was no audible subscribe warning. Oh. Damn you, Streamlabs. You are supposed to play my terrier whistle for everyone, not just for me. Oakshill Model Railway. Exactly. For AC, surely you need live and neutral. No, that's DC. AC alternates. My point is, it does not matter which way round they go. As you will also notice, if I grab my power cable for the layout, which is obviously wrapped around all these other cables, I have red and green to the track, as we know, and I have grey and grey for the power. Because it's AC, it does not matter what way round I put them. It does matter if you connect the input to the output. Yes, but that's why I've put those in there, so I don't connect the input to the output. This is the power input. These two are the power output. which I ideally want to remember that this is positive and this is negative. But I can fix that quite easily because my positive will go straight off to the switches. No, you forgot to turn your phone on silent before streaming. So the positive from here, which is this one, will go to all of these, with the common return from these going back to the negative on there. AC neutral is only important for 3-phase, which this definitely isn't. I've got a 21 volt maximum on here, which will actually run a 15 volt input because I will have it run off the same power connection as the layout. Because why have two lots of power when you can have one? Connection is important. Indeed, Sophia. Suppose you're still soldering middle bits of wires rather than using connectors. Definitely, because I used to use connectors, but connectors degrade over time. My soldered wires don't. They give a more reliable connection. And, of course, hydration is important. In fact, James, if you use connectors, I have literally hundreds of them. If you would like them, you can have them. What kind of connectors are you using? I use Wago connectors which are intended for mains electricity. I would go and get them, but there's not really much room for me to get out of this house. I would very much fail a fire safety inspection right now. Because if I try and get out the room, you see, there's my laptop. And there's the way in and out of the room. So, yeah. We're not going to go out and get them and see if we can and bring them in. I know exactly where they are, but I do not use them anymore. And yes, we will see some PPE later. So, feel free to smash the like button for the PPE. And subscribe and all that wonderful stuff, like the Cads one did. You can see the room leaving difficulty. Yeah, and since, as you see, the laptop has many cables coming out of it right now, I don't really want to move it around too much. The important thing is, though, that we should start this by flipping this up. Let's go with my fingers now. And getting underneath it. It's been given a present, a mouse, back soon. Have fun. Goodbye, badge. There we go. That's probably the best camera angle I can manage when it's got to be this far forward. Can definitely see the difficulty with you leaving your live stream prism. It is indeed a live stream prism. So yeah, back of the control panel is, shockingly, the back of 5 switches. I always wonder whether they do that. I always wonder whether they do that because proving that they caught their mice to humans was part of their domestication process and was selected for. So, from I have been told, I don't know how true this is, but I have been told the reason they do that is because they go out hunting to get food and they never see you hunt to get food. So they're bringing you a mouse to say, here, I got you some food because, you know, you haven't got any for yourself and you need to eat. I don't know if that's true, but it is what I have heard. Mechanisms and rails and ballast on which so in my various looking for stuff earlier, I did actually find loads and loads of ballast, so I think I know what ballast we're using for this layout now. I'm going to try and pull these through because they're definitely not all the way through. That one's okay coming through. That's got plenty on it. Definitely not going to be long enough. Cats are very kind and fluffy. Well, I'll give you fluffy. Now I've got to work out where to put this, because as I said, my screws are too long. I might actually have to put it over here because of the too long screws. Because at least there, it doesn't matter that the screws are going to poke through the top of the board. Ballast, engage ballast. Yes, cars 2mm sandstone ballast. Cat bought me a rabbit once. Yes, so kind, killing wildlife and displaying it proudly. Indeed, Alex. I was quite the catch, was it? Now I've thought about it. Next project here on stream has to involve some sort of weathering. No, it doesn't. No, it definitely doesn't. No, I thought he thought I was starving. Perhaps he did. Can't touch CDU to cross members instead of the base. That's a good idea, James. Well said. I'm going to do that. Do that with all the electronics on my layout. Because whatever command that is quite wrong, since there hasn't been any as of yet. Yeah. Only the point motors attached to the base. So it sounds perfect. Poor rabbit. Clever. Weathering. Yeah. I think it's OD that says about weathering. I think. But yes, you're right, James. I should attach it there, shouldn't I? I mean, that'll make it slightly awkward to get to the screws to put them in, because one is there. And there goes my pen. No, I didn't get either of those. Andy. Can't blame the man for trying. Shop, open the kitchen door, find rabbit size stone up me. Find a bit of weathering. Perfect place. Yes, you are right, James. See, this is why I do things live, because then you can all tell me when I'm being an idiot. Just enough to mark, and then I can... There we go. Now, remember, when you're doing these things, do them during the day. then you can use power tools. There we go, we have purchase in there. Because I assure you, power tools would be much better for this. They find it easier with the screw tails at the upper end, not so near the edge. No, they're fine. I mean, you're probably right, but I'm going to go with they're fine. I'm going to get this one in enough that it can hold itself, and then I'm going to catch up on chat. Live streams greater than live mice. No, I don't know about that. Live mice are quite good. That will need weathering eventually. Everything will need weathering eventually. Doesn't mean it's going to... Well, that's right. It will get it eventually. Hello, Michael McCarfield. How are you? I hope you are well. Only for non-cats. Good evening, Michael. Bill, he's just using. This is where a snake drive will come in handy. I use power tools at night, but that's in my shed. Yeah, I wish. I live in an old cottage, and we sometimes get rodent intruders. We do not. I live in a terraced house with my neighbour's kitchen, like half a foot behind me. Nice, you have cats. I mean, just turn it around so the screw table's the other way. Yeah, I knew what you meant, but I think I've got enough space there to get to them. Okay. Live mice in the living room aren't good. Well, it depends on if they're in a cage. Unfortunately, landlady won't let me. Unfortunately, I like borrowing neighbours' cats where I can. Friendly cats are usually willing to be borrowed. Oh, I caught up with chat. You all got rather chatty. Do you not have some shorter screws somewhere? I do not. I thought I did, but I do not. It just means we shall have to put some scenery over where the screws pop out through the top of the board. I think that we weren't referring to wholly uncaged wild mice. Well, yes, obviously, but I was making a point. You could always mark screw locations with pencil and drill all the holes first. I could, but I'm not gonna. How's it going anyway, Gary? It's going very well, Thomas. How are you? I hope you are well. Hydration is important. We are now going to turn the soldering iron on. Because you see, if I take a bit of cable, I'm actually going to use a bit of white cable, which I really shouldn't. It completely messes up my wiring diagram. But I've got some, so I'm going to use it. Look, I've got some with a crocodile clip attached. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so not that I've seen, so unfortunately I have some nearby cats. I have some nearby cats running, but they are quite timid. I have lots of friendly local cats. But yes, so if I take this bit of wire and it goes in there and across to all of these, then I can't put the wrong cable in places. That's my plan. So I'm going to turn the soldering iron on, get the wire strippers, and we're going to put the common positive. Do you have white and violet 10.01 wiring shop? I have no idea what we have. To be honest, we stock lots and lots of colours though. And varieties. Harry's very lucky cat-wise. Well, depends on your opinion on cats, doesn't it? Not better than last night. We got a little sensory overload at my dad's last night. Brother and father got a little bit rowdy and loud, and I've been able to relax it away now. Well, that does not sound fun, but I'm glad you've been able to relax it away. Just living in a place, I had a very friendly neighbouring black fluffy cat who used to come into my flat when I came home and purr. Much cuddling would happen. Just ask again when you're next in the shop. I need white and violet 10.01. Well, I am next in the shop on Tuesday at 9:30 AM till 2:30 PM. Soldering iron is now hot, so we're going to tin up the end of this. Can't see me tin it up, but I assure you I am. It's all tinned now. And then that is going to go into our positive, which needs twisting open. I say this is a new CDU because I bought a new CDU and have opened it and stuff. But this hole here and the slight cracks make me think this is actually the CDU from Oak Hill. Improve relaxing away sensory overload. Yes, it does sound good, doesn't it? Relaxing it away. Splendid. I will ask then. Excellent. There's a link to Twitter. Evening all, hope everyone well. Good evening, Andy. I am indeed well. How are you? I hope you are well. Improve of recycling. Well, everything that I can from Oak Hill will get reused. So now we are going to go across the middle terminal of all of these. Which are also pre-used, pre-loved switches. We'll go with that. They came off a layout I dismantled. I bought it to dismantle it years and years and years and years ago, and I am still using parts from it for various projects. It has served me well, that layout. Anyways, switch recycling is splendid, yeah. It was a layout that was getting scrapped. It was huge. It was a 12-foot by 12-foot rounding. The fiddle yard had 15 roads in it. Massive station area, big goods yard. 50 quid I paid for it. Once it still works, reusing it. If it doesn't, try and fix it and then reuse it. Exactly, Thomas. One of the I've seen layout, such as this, is that you can wire it without being on the floor. Yes, that is a great advantage. Wow, why is anyone scrapping such a layout? Because the person who owned it died. Surely you don't need flux space for electrical soldering. It makes soldering easier, therefore I use it. The solder flows nicer with it, so why wouldn't I use it? 50 notes, yeah, 50. I want to make a slightly tasteless joke now, and I'm ashamed for it now. Probably a good idea to avoid tasteless jokes on a PG live stream. Believe that flux space is positively a bad idea for electrical stuff as it will damage the wires. Only rising flux should be used, I believe, as it is heat activated and inert when cold. I mean, I generally wash this off. Um, yeah, I can't see any do not uses and stuff, but yeah, I wash it off afterwards. Good flux core solder should suffice for electrical work. Yeah, but this isn't flux core solder. This is 6040 lead solder. I hope the chap who passed away managed to get many happy hours from the layout. It's always sad to see people die before completing a masterpiece. There was more that could have been done to it, but whether it would have been is another matter. He had spent a good long while enjoying the progress. Flux Vice was given to me by someone from Clark who worked in safety critical oil and gas installation for years. Fair enough. Luckily, this isn't safety critical oil and gas. I would be a lot more concerned about what I'm using if it was. Well, indeed, so the worst that can happen if you get it wrong is that your model railway doesn't work. Exactly. And that, in case you haven't seen, wouldn't take me long to rewire the whole layout. So it's not the biggest of issues. No, it needs some more solder up there. There we go. Now, we will not be connecting the point motors the wrong way round, because that side of them is connected. Well, model railway not working is a lot better than an oil rig going boom. It is indeed. Another advantage of a teeny layout is that fault finding is easier. That is true. If you did this in Engage, you could fit it on a coffee table. You're assuming this doesn't fit on my coffee table. I mean, it doesn't with the fiddle yard, which is why it wasn't on the coffee table when I took those pictures on Discord earlier. But that's not the point. What did I do with the point motor that's open? I didn't do something stupid like leave it on top of the layout, did I? Because I can't see it. Point motor. I put it somewhere. Notice of approval that my name on the on-screen chat is in mauve. Yes, I noticed that as well. I wasn't going to mention it and was going to wait to see how long it took you to notice. Ah, there it is. I found it. Now, so we have put cables, so we don't put anything into the power input here. We've got a cable running for our positive across to the back of the point motors. So the negative from here will run along the point motor common. And then it's just switches to point motors. Speaking of finding things, whilst I didn't find what I was actually looking for, I did, when I was looking for my electrical connectors that I've misplaced, find the most important. You're using the same colour for DC and AC. No, they're only there to stop me putting stuff in. These are not the cables I will use. They are just there so I don't put something into them and wire it backwards. That is the only reason they exist. I wouldn't normally use white on point motors at all. It's just I'm low on colours and was really good about getting more. But anyway, as I said, as I was saying, when I was looking for my bits I lost, I did find my dragon that is I've been looking for since I set this room up so it could go in here somewhere. It's an MSI gaming dragon and it came with my laptop that runs the streams. Because is your laptop even worth buying if it doesn't come with a dragon teddy? Very Welsh. It is rather. And yet there's no reason for it to be Welsh because MSI aren't a Welsh company, but it is a very Welsh looking dragon. But yeah, usually on my track wiring, and why I can get away with using white here, black and white would be for wiring to either test tracks or programming tracks for the DCC. So it's not going to matter under here that I've got it because I'm not going to get it confused with those because we're not going to have those. Short on coloured wire, if only you worked in a model shop. I know, if only. What you're forgetting is that I don't have a brain, so I either forget to buy these things or I lose them. Much like what I was actually looking for earlier. Because I was earlier looking for my special seep point motor fitting tool, yes, that is a thing that really exists. Because the problem with fitting seat point motors is to get them aligned properly, you have to have the point set centrally, which is kind of not easy to do. Is your brain still under warranty? Unfortunately not. So I actually have a tool that sits in from the top and centres it all and everything. And lines up the holes for where to drill for your seat point motors. It's a great tool if only I knew where it was. So instead, we're going to put some wires in either side of the blades, which obviously I have knocked out because of course I did. Which will hold it nice and central for us. Good evening, Red. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. And yes, you did miss the cat chat. You'll have to scroll back up to find it. I'm a Kentish maid that's part Welsh. Aha. That would approve of your... That would... Words. I am good at words, aren't I? They definitely always come out in the right order. That would explain your approval of things that are Welsh. Proof of being part Welsh, I am half Welsh. Aha. Fine, thanks, Jerry. You, I am very well, thank you. So, yeah, they are going to hold the point centrally. Rather than my special tool that does it for me. So it's a two-part tool, and the top bit has a pop rod that drops down through. And then the bottom bit has it that slides up onto it and marks out your screw holes. So all you have to come along and do is put your point motor against it, line up the screw holes and put the screws in. It's fantastic. I wish I could find it. The bot says hydration is important. I agree with the bot. I'm half Irish and 1/8 French. I splendid. I approve of Irish. I am technically Irish. I always support Wales in the rugby. I don't watch the rugby. It's easier. Watching rugby is way too close to physical activity for me. Right. Move out the way, chair. You're actually in the way. That doesn't look very promising. That looks like this hole is in the wrong place. We will soon find out. The tools that one can find are the best sort of tools. They are indeed. I must confess, I am not much of one for sport. No, I never am. Soldering is too close to physical activity for me. Oh. So that's why you're coming to get me to do it. No, it doesn't want to mark. How splendid of you, pen. Now where have I put me? There it is. And now we're going to find out just how too big these screws are. Soldering is not so bad. No, but once you can do it and you're confident with it, soldering is fun. My granddad was born to an Irish couple who died when he was young. Nan's family came over from Ireland just after World War One. Trace my family tree back over 5 generations. I'm English. Only 5 generations, Paderborn. Someone sounds like interesting just for independence. No, I got my nails done last Wednesday. Yeah, fair enough. 5 generations, gosh, that's something I guess possibly suboptimal for soldering. My family tree has been traced back to still being in Sussex before those darn Normans came over and turned us into and made us French. That is quite a while. Yeah, that hole's in slightly the wrong place. Not the hole for this screw, the hole that the pin goes through. Is your family tree an oak? I mean, it's quite a large family tree, but it's quite wide. Some branches say that. Oh, my father tells me that my surname comes from Kent. My dad's mum was half French. My dad's side, however, was Norfolk, at least 9 generations. There's a lot of generations. It is. Normans weren't French, they were Norsemen. Well, yes, true. Wrongly placed trees. Pets. Wood is a station in Kent. It is indeed. Oaks are large and wide. Well, true. True. But yeah, my family tree. We have traced the family tree back far enough through records, as you know, as far as records can be on of that era, to being at the Battle of Hastings. Yeah, I cannot see that hole. I can if I come down here, so it's not much further up it needs to move. This is, of course, the correct way to cut through MDF. My name is Norse. Interesting. It comes from the hollows in the ground, pits a similar name. Most of my dad's ancestors were pretty petty criminals or nothing. His dad, and as I think I said before, was a known burglar. You have indeed. I've proven also. My grandfather was Chittenden, which is a ridiculously Kentish name. It is rather. Family ended up in Australia, an East House. The name I was going to ask about Australia. Yeah, see, another one, because although obviously once you start going back, records become very unreliable, it does help that my surname is of Saxon origin. Means the king's champion, who would have been the fighter alongside the king in battle. I think it's almost clear enough now. Oh, and James, just because you'll love this. I am sat on the floor now, so I can do this. You would not believe how hard it is doing this with the camera in front of you. There we go, that's firing now. Why? And no, I didn't think moving the camera would make sense. Why would that make sense? Isn't it pronounced Australia? Only if you're from there. That whole position looks better. It does, doesn't it? My family's pretty much not Delta family. Much of us are still in Robin Hood land, but I do have some distant relatives in Australia and America, and my mum's sister lives in Peterborough. This position holds painful. I have to deal with them in 6mm ply. Excellent. Yeah, see, it's much easier to deal with them in MDF. Go. Now let me check that it's firing far enough each way. I do believe it is. It could be, if it was slightly higher, that wouldn't be a terrible thing, but I don't know if I'm going to manage that. Again, this would be easier if I didn't have the camera sat here. But when have I ever let the camera get in my way, eh? Actually, it's not applied 6mm is what the club layout uses. It takes a lot of fire. I can imagine it does. Yeah, that's fine. I have, of course, put the point motor on the wrong way round. Why did no one tell me this? Well, always, how else are you going to stream with the camera ain't in the way? Exactly. The only other way I could do it would be to let you see me, and we can't be having that. I've put this on with all the contacts on this side. I want them on this side. Usually, I wire up the point motors before attaching them to the layout. That's not happening this time because, you know, I don't have the... I can't just stick a load of wire on them and then screw it in once I'm done, because I've lost those screw terminals. Oh, now that's interesting. Not that big. Not me. Now it's definitely too low. So these do not sit centrally on the PCB. So it will have to be the other way round. That's irritating. Of course, it wouldn't matter if I wasn't using the accessory switch on it, but we are. I need to stop dropping that. Narrow plant now seems to be called light railway saws. Yes, yes, they do. I always forget that. Yeah, that's fine. So now, this point motor wants to be connected to this switch and to this CDU via a common and to this wire here and to these. So not much. I'm going to refill the hydration vessel. What's the bot saying? Oh, the bot is advertising my website. Isn't my website great? If you click on it enough and load all the adverts and click on them, then I get paid money. Not that I would ever advise doing that. Hydration is important. Aha, they do sell LBSC plates. What LBSC plates are you after, James? I can advise doing that. Go to the site. That's in new tabs. Close the tabs. Turn the ad blocker on again. Workplates with plate. Workplates are currently just painted brass. Aha. I don't know if Mr. McCormack can do those because he normally does his work plates with number plates, which would be the Strauchley style plates, which I'm assuming you don't want on an i3. But if he can do them, he would be the best person to get them from. There we go. We're all tinned up. Now we have to make a decision, everyone. Seem to do them in 3 colours, unpainted, black or red. Does Ian have a website? Ian does not have those listed on his website, but he is EB Models. mjwsjw.co.uk, I think. What colour would LBSC workplates have been in SR days? I don't know in SR days, but in LBSC days they would have been works plates were black. Good evening, Linny. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. So yes, important decision time. I'm going to be firing up and down. I want the colours to be consistent. Blue for up and yellow for down, or yellow for up and blue for down. Though that is our important decision. So I'm okay, been out at a barbecue. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. You did indeed miss lots of cat talk earlier. Alex was loving being the only mod here. Surely down should be normal and up reverse and colours consistent accordingly. You would think so, wouldn't you? But no, I want to know up or down on the baseboard. IEG for up. I mean, I'd love to, but I literally I have yellow and blue. They are my point motor colours. The urge to ban people was strong. I have decided yellow will be up on the board. It's the closest thing I have to IEG. When I flick that up, I want the point to move into that position. So yellow goes to A. With workspace polished brass, no, I use yellow blue for my 12-volt DC bus. Well, not painted at all. The lessons will have been polished, but I'd assume the background was painted. Points move in X, so blue up, letter B, points up, yellow down, Y, points down. No, that makes really good sense, but I've put yellow on the up one now. Background comes in either, but I generally use the red one. I assume the same. Two RS2 then painted red or black. I thought the works plate said engraved letters not raised. This for SI, LBS, CRD. They do. Works plates have engraved letters, not raised letters. It is the letters that would be coloured on that. Oddly, I just like the way red name or number plates look on my locos. Yes, it doesn't really help though, does it, Red? But yeah, Brighton number plates were brass plates with letters engraved into them. Number plates, not works plates that had raised numbers. It was indeed, and even on those, the number plates had London, Brighton, and South Coast engraved around the outside, and then a dip in the middle for the letters to be placed into. There, you may find that my wiring colours seem very random, and there is a reason for that, because nothing in life is random. They are the colours of wire I had available when wiring up Hailsham. But there we go, the first of the switches is wired on both. Searching on Flickr for LBSL was posting a photograph that I took of an E4 at the Blue Belt showing raised numbers with a black background. Is that not the number plate? Rather than the works plate? That as an SRO, because I've only seen polished brass works plates. Should get plates for the C and the Q1. You should indeed. Something on library. Good evening, model fans. Hope things are okay. Hey, good evening, Rob. How are you doing? I hope you are well. C Pro Folk discussion engraved letters it is. Thank you, Killian. Very much appreciated. The LBSCR E4 is in SR green. Aha. I go, oh, your wire colours are consistent with Hailsham. That makes sense. Yes, I keep my colours consistent on all my layouts, because then I won't be getting confused by being on a different layout. So all wiring colours across all my layouts are identical. I would advise everyone else to do that. All good, thanks, Gary. I hope you are well. Thanks for the input in your LBSCR signal. That's all right. I noticed that those much more knowledgeable than myself have been along and corrected me. It says Bright Words 1898. To be more precise, the letters are engraved and the numbers are raised. Put the link on Discord. They should definitely be all engraved. I want to see this. And there we are. The switch is wired to the point motors. So I'm just being ignored anyway. I'll be off, not feeling great either. Speak tomorrow. Sorry for dashing like this. Good night, Alex. Thank you for coming by. I don't think you're. Well, I'm certainly not ignoring you. But yes. Good night. Sorry to hear you're not feeling well. Speak tomorrow. I'm going to go have a quick look at Discord and see these pictures. Yeah, that one that you've put up James, looks a lot like a Brighton number plate. I mean, obviously it's not, but that is the style that the number plates were in. They were lettered completely different to that. The one that Killian has put is how I recognise works plates to be. Right, so now we are going to take Gary Dixon's font with all knowledge I've lessened. Got lots of set massively on a lot of my wagons. He is indeed. He is fantastic. He's a wonderful guy as well. Very knowledgeable and very kind. Right. Wire of blackness. This is going to be our common return. Again, it's the wrong colour for my common return. But never mind. It's what I have. Something working in a model shop and having access to lots of wire. You don't all need to say it again. But at some point, I am going to have to remove loads of the wires on this and redo them because I want them to match my regular colour schemes. Interesting, I'll definitely improve common colours to multiple layouts. I definitely look forward to seeing Hailsham being wired. Hailsham's already wired. There's no looking forward to seeing that. Hailsham has been wired for years and years and years. Hailsham running session video one day. The reason Hailsham has not been out is because Hailsham doesn't come out because it's too big for the house. To put it up, it takes up the entirety of my kitchen. I need to take the kitchen out of action to use the layout. I have not had chance to do that since before the pandemic. Totally, Gary. I popped along on the Bluebell on Saturday and saw the lovely Everone row you mentioned. Stock was stunning. Ah, yes, Pulborough. Barry Luck's layout. Absolutely fantastic. I have only seen one photo of it from this weekend and I'm gutted. I've not seen any videos with it in or anything either. But yeah, it is stunning, isn't it? Railway better than kitchen. Well, yeah, that's true, but I have kids to feed. That's what's caused me to not be able to. Pre-pandemic, they were going away and staying at their mum's overnight every couple of months. Only the one night, mind. But that was enough that I could get the layout up when they left and have it up for 24 hours before having to take it down. Tempted to say railway better than children. I expect the children would disagree. I would disagree. Can Hailsham fit in your living room if you move the sofas? No, Hailsham is longer than the living room. Layout room. Have a layout room instead of a living room. The living room is 3 foot too short to get Hailsham up. Even if you took the sofa out. That's one, yes. Paul Brother Chap was kind enough to show me some of his professionally painted logos, which looked so good. Though his Stroudley lantern breaks weren't correct. Excellent. Did you introduce yourself? Because Barry is aware of your lantern break kits. I was hoping I'd get along, but the day conspired against me. How wide is the hallway? The hallway is not long enough or wide enough. The answer to that. The kitchen is the only room it fits in. You need a shed. The garden isn't long enough. Okay, that's a lie. The garden is, but that's not the point. I didn't know. I didn't realise he would have happily given him a kit if he wanted one. Yeah, he is aware of who you are. Think more along the lines of in the living room, poking through the door into the hallway. The doorway's not wide enough. But if it did that, it would cut off. If it was, it would cut off access to the kitchen from the rest of the house. So, same problem. Sheds greater than lawns. I wholeheartedly agree. But my garden is at that sort of angle. Layer rack rail set on the staircase. Stairs aren't long enough. Think way better than kitchen. So you know what you were saying about those wagon kits and stuff, Sophia. If you less takeaways, more railways. Interesting fact, in post 31 livery has no works plate at all. Interesting. You need an attic. I would love an attic layout, but my roof is the pitch is wrong. It's only 4 foot tall in the centre. Away from the garden it is then. Plot thickens, restyle of workplace. Indeed, I swear Gary has one that's too showed given the age of his house. There we go. See, James knew. See, pick the one box seal and prototype discussion. Oh, hang on a second. Hydration and all that. I suspect the works plate that Linny has posted is the one that you would want, judging what it came from. On a diet anyway, so no more takeaways for me. Fair enough. Just say though, since my son's away with the scouts at the minute, Me and my daughter did sit around and have a Chinese and watch Darren Brown, which was great fun. First time she's watched one of his live shows. And she's not shut up about it since. Feel dirty, I bought Twinkies today, not for me, I hasten to add. Twinkies? Yeah. My brother loves them. Homemade cake, better than Twinkies. Yes, yes it is. His plate does seem correct for an i3. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Right then. Flux and flux. Deep fried Twinkies. No, no, no. No. That's the only thing I can think of to respond to deep fried Twinkies. No. Obviously, the Brighton liked changing its style of works plate. I live in Scotland. There are some things even we won't deep fry. No, there's not. That's a lie. That probably also. Oh, yeah, it probably would, James. Marshmallow plates versus Stroudley ones. Very possibly. Stroudley one be very much in the style of his number plates. Yeah, it's very possible. But Stepney doesn't have one in the style of his number plates. Stepney has a flat brass one with letters engraved into it. Right then, I have, in theory, a wired and working point motor. Now, I'm sure you're all sick of me saying in theory all the time. I also have here a power supply. Shall we put some theory to the test? But was Stepney not an A1X, a Marsh rebuild? But it wasn't built then, and the builder's plate is dated to when it was built. By that logic, all the Terriers would have that style of works plate because they all got rebuilt eventually. Even Fenchurch, who is currently wearing A1 style clothing. We're using the DCC power unit, as I said we would. Have I turned that plug on? I have. Well, that's not good. That's free enough. Does Ian have the correct style of plates? You will have to ask him. He is on Discord. It's taken a longer as footplate mounting sandboxes to the workplace certainly been moved. So our next party have been silent far too long. Hope all are well. Work has been busy and COVID complicated. Not me. I hope for a smoother August. Good evening, Bob. How are you? I'm going to take that out of there since it's not working. I didn't, did I, James? You're quite right. Because I wasn't ever going to put power through them. It wouldn't be a Gary live stream without something going wrong because I've done something stupid, would it? But yes, I'm very well, Bob. I hope you are okay, given other complications. But yeah, well remembered. Thank you, James. I've asked on Discord. Excellent. Hopefully you will get a nice fast reply saying, yes, of course I do. You're very right, but hydration is indeed important. And we have reached that magical point of 10:30 when I ask you all what you are up to. So, what is everyone up to this evening? I do genuinely love reading about your ongoing projects, etc. Please do tell. Whilst I actually make electrical connections here. Super secret projects, those are the best sorts of projects. Projects that aren't really happening. This evening, not much, same on parents, not in layout shed, researching i3 workplates. Aha, excellent. I approve of research as much as of other work. Getting sound look like Jenny Kerr commentary. If for Manchester Wagons in preparation for getting the new printer up and running. Excellent. I saw you posted that on Facebook. There we go. And you have the same printer as me now. There's a point that moves. And is firing well and truly far enough for the accessory switch. Okay, thanks. We'll try and get back to making up those white metal signal kits. I look forward to seeing your progress on them, Bob. We've been bombarded with questions. So yeah, there we have one working point motor. One. I'm going to move the transformer out the way now. Have a guess what we have stabled in our sidings at Arley. Oh, I saw some pictures of this. Is it class 43s? I can't remember. I saw some pictures of something modern sat in your sidings at Arley. Modern GRJ69 in 7mm to hopefully eventually sit on top of Dapper low gauge Terrier. Just hear what disgust, Gary. That is absolutely disgusting, Rob. Disgraceful. Sponsored 5 HST power cars. Yay! I was right. Fine transfers, Provenal wagons and cattle vans. Excellent. That's it's been said. Why would they have warships here? And then again, it is Western region. Very fond memories of HSTs. Yeah, I saw the pictures of them the other day. So, yes, I cheated knowing, but I knew that's what matters. Now, warships for class 43s. I genuinely did not know that. But they should give that, but that title clearly belongs to HSTs. Right, so set like the point currently is, we want red to the frog, as it is. Lining a loca. Lining. Terrible thing to do. Should give that to someone else to do, Tom. Substitutes my grandparents' house in 1990 deserves to be powered up each week. We'll rattle the ornaments on the village's mantelpiece. They will indeed, won't they? It's 43. It was originally numbered in the carriage series, and they were numbered 253 XXX in the DNU series. They were indeed. I knew that bit of information. So yeah, in this position we are at D. D wants to be red. So we're going to take a very short bit of red wire, put it somewhere you can see it. They split the power cars from the carriages regularly to give them different maintenance schedules, so they re-designated the power cars class 43 and banned the 253 triple X numbers in the 1980s. I thought they still carried their 253 XXX numbers actually. I think I posted some images of them at Arley on RM Web. It will be your pictures I saw of them then, Bob. That would be where I saw the pictures if you posted on them on RM Web. One tinned up wire. You can see why I normally wire the point motors before installing them on the underside of the board, can't you? And that wants to go to hear. Now, I'd like to point out, as we are over the halfway point, we're obviously not getting all of these point motors on tonight. Don't worry, I won't bore you with another stream. I will get them on get the rest of them on during the week. Unless you really want me to, which I'm sure you don't. Also, I believe the next Batman quarterly announcement is next week. It's certainly coming up soon, yes. Last year, 253 in the 1980s. Fair enough. I soldered the wires on my point motors prior to installation. Running live stream next week. Do we get to pick what wagons? Have to shunt where? So, yeah, as soon as it's wired up, we'll do some shunting live. That's fine. I don't mind doing that. We might not do it for the whole live stream, but yes, we will do it. So, if D is red, that means E is green. Which somehow avoided being tinned earlier. Then ballasting. Yes, then ballasting and other scenics. Can't wait for the Sound Strange video on the new pack announcements. He'll probably just tell you they're all rubbish before they. You have it ready. All these are coming out and they're all going to be terrible. Gosh, I've blocked his channel. I find it very tedious. Yeah, you're quite right, James. Well, I approve of blocking Sam's Train's channel. Expect this quarterly will be sparse. The autumn one may be better. We shall see. I have no advance information to go on. Not even stuff from my usual sources. Slippers. So I'll wear slippers to the shop on Tuesday if you carry on. Darn it, I need more solder. There we go. Views of carpets, yeah. Which carpet is best to run trains on? And yet it still wouldn't be his stupidest video. carpet is the least fluffed in your Legos motor. So I still remember when he got called out for being racist on Twitter, and his response was, "No, it wasn't racist because I decided it's not racist." It's like, yeah, that's not how that works. Right, and so the red one and the green one go in to switch the frog and come out of F, which we will connect to the frog switch. Yeah, could be either. So to connect to that, we have some red and green wire. See, aren't I well prepared? This is thinner than all my other wires. I have no idea where it came from. Surely test shag path has sheepsy and they probably would. The 43, 257, 277, 251, 273, 272 are there. Interesting. That is good to have a list of what's being saved. Do they have an onward destination once they leave Arley yet? And if so, do you know what it is? Just point his carpet doesn't have sprung buffers. I will never understand why so many modelers get upset about a lack of sprung buffers. Especially ones that use tension lock couplings. Because what good are they if you're using tension locks? Your buffers won't ever touch anything. For me, with my proper couplings, they will get used because they will buff up to things. Now, I've never actually tried soldering to one of these things before, so I don't know how well this is going to go. But since I've forgotten my I've lost, sorry, not forgotten, lost my connectors. I've not got much of a choice. I like sprung buffers, they do help with cornering with short KD couplings, but yes, useless for tension locks. My Q1 has them, but the C doesn't. And are you ever going to need it to have them? I like having KD short enough buffers to touch, makes sense. Yes, many of the Batman ones don't. The H2s don't either. Sprung couplings are more useful than sprung buffers in my mind. See, I also have sprung couplings. If we take wagon here that is ready for shunting on the layout, coupling is sprung. My C isn't a Batman. It is not. Not sure how they do short KD 600 pairs. Oh, I'm intrigued. Kit built. It's the same as my C, James. Box. I'd like to point out though, just real quick, O-Class had sprung buffers. Yeah, Gary's bodged locomotives. Great British Locomotives was a magazine series, James, with static models. God, loads of years ago now, that was. And they were all rip-offs of ready-to-run 4mm locos. Haha, it has connected. So we now have working frog switch. Every the magazine came with static model locomotives, approved bus springs, scrapers, logo, static models. Came with a handy magazine. Well, I'm not sure how handy the magazine was, but the locos were good. Some of them are decent bodge fodder. Most of them are. I collected the whole series. I subscribed to it so I could collect the whole series. And there were things like the first issue, which was obviously, you know, the cheap get you in to buy our part work $1.99, was a Hornby Super Detail A4 that all you needed to do was chuck a chassis under it and it was fine and just as good as the Hornby. The only thing they did that was not a existing 4mm ready to run loco was that they did locomotion number 1, their very last issue. There were plans for more, they got cut short. There was another 20 or so that were planned. I assume numbers of people buying them dropped, and that's why they got cut short. It's a real shame because one of the things that was planned was a Terrier, and I would have made up for however many copies short they were when it came to that one. There is just a possibility they may run along the line. There was one further which was in BR Blue, departed immediately for restoration at Ruddington, where these are eventually destined. Ah, excellent. I'm glad to hear the word restoration, but I assumed that was the case. It's good to have it confirmed. Hydration is important. So we're going to go this way now, because we've actually got a point motor here to put in. And before I even attempt to do anything with that, I'm going to go down on the floor. It looks like it lines up okay. So we'll tip this over. There's our one we've done with its big eye stabber poking out. We'll grab some bits of wire to put in here, because amazingly I still don't have my tool that does this for me and holds it properly. I know, who'd have thought I hadn't found it since the last one. But those will hold that central whilst we get the point motor installed, and we can now see just how too big my screws are. This one, rather unfortunately, pops up just through the through the sleeper. Hopefully the others don't do that. I mean, this is going to be an issue with that. So I'm going to have to sort that. I'm rather annoyed my screws are too big. That one is clear of everything, that's good. But yeah, these ones, if I drop them down, then a screw comes up under the rails. Oh, if I do it that way, it comes up slightly further over and we might be able to sort that. Dremel the ends. Yeah, that's... I can't do that until they're through though. But yeah, I might be able to get away with that one. We shall see. What I actually need to do is buy some shorter screws. But then putting the Valenta engines back and the original headlight clusters, mixed feelings about them being at Arley's, totally screws up on 1930 time period, good revenue stream, these cash strapped times and on temporary arrangement. Yeah, I totally understand doing it for the money. The railways need that right now. Surely a bit of tarpaulin would store the 1930s look. Did they have lots of stuff covered in tarp in stations in the 30s? Get away from most at the same time. Adrenaline would have to be post installation. Right on that. And a quick pop to another stream. Kept this one up though. Pop into another stream? How dare you? As long as it wasn't Sam's Trains or something. Wants to go this way round. Wouldn't pop to one of those even if you paid me. I approve of not popping to those. Sam's Train says hi. I have no response. Yeah, that's nicely come through, nowhere near rail, that's fine. What we're going to do right now, before we do anything, yeah, words, English. I'm good at it. There we go. Flux. Solder. Right. Blue wire with, I assume, plenty of length. Yes. It's going this way round. Blue wire is going to want to open up that road. Which means it's going to want to be there. Blue is A. On another related note, just realised I'm going back to the club on Tuesday for the first time in a year and a half. Rather chuffed, if you pardon the pun. Excellent. My club went to the pub last week. Well, technically this week still, actually, isn't it? And I bought a terrier and some more triangle stories. Because of course I did. No, that yellow bit isn't long enough. We'll have to go with the really long yellow bit. Some Papa Chuffed is good. Of course, you bought a terrier. Well, I mean, what else was I going to do? Let's be honest. Does that now need amending? No, not yet. I have not yet collected the terrier, therefore I am not amending the number. One of our Engage modelers had bought himself a Dapple Terrier listed as Engage on eBay. Turned up and it was 00, so he asked if I would like it. I said yes. I am paying him the price he paid for it, and we shall do the exchange at the club room, most likely in the coming week. So the next one is to become a 240. Very possibly that this one will become a 240. It will be my second 240. But from what he told me, I believe this one is improved engine green, in which case it will become Box Hill as a 240, yes. Love-hate relationship, trying clear stories. They look nice, but they feel cheaper than Mattel's Trackmaster range. Well, they're the best bodging fodder there is. You may just imagine what this layout would be like in Engage. It would be great. It would be an entire subclass model, technically. It would, yes, because I already have the other 240. Need a rather large box for a hill. No, not box for a hill. Box hill. Hill that is a box. What if it's a molehill? Very true. Very true. Right then. I can't think what way round the frogs are going to want to be. Obviously, one of them is going to want to be, there's going to want to be a big, long, dual-coloured output. So we can attach that now. Actually, Factory 240 is interesting. I'd heard of Kemptown tanks, which were 240s. Yes! They were converted to 240s, and that in the early 1900s. So this goes on F. If I don't drop it. And I'm going to do the rest when it's on there, because I want to cut this down. Yeah, I can do that now. Cut this down and solder this directly to it for the common. But I don't want to get the red and green the wrong way round, so I will do them afterwards. It's really hot. Just in case you were wondering. Oh, chat's got away from me and I can't see it all. Let's go back to where I knew. Box hill equals hill made of boxes. Yes, definitely. Don't mess at them. Box hill, hill on which boxwood trees are oak. Oak hill, but with box instead of oak, or birch hill, deed, or birch grove, or Linton, which is a place 2,240 Strange that they name one of their locos after a hill very much needed arterial and less than another box hill. Does it want to for arterials over standard type? That would be the really, really good CME of the time going, I don't like passenger locos with leading drivers. Well, let's see if they're any better if we take those coupling rods away and put smaller wheels on. Well, there's no Box Hills in Box Hill and West Humble Station, not Box Hill. Indeed, interesting. Of course, there's also Bexhill in South London. Flexibility for sharp curves without coupling rods. They could have more side plane front wheels. Interesting way to run either that. Nice alarming close to your fingers. Yeah, I never actually touched them though. But no, it wasn't for flexibility. It was purely I don't like passenger locos with drivers leading. I think we can improve these by taking away the coupling rods and putting on smaller wheels. Don't like passenger locos leading drivers, not realising they spend half the time running backwards. Yeah. That was genuinely the reason for it. And would you believe it didn't improve their performance and no others ever got converted? And they ended up being converted back. It's shocking, isn't it, how taking away 2 driving wheels didn't improve them. Didn't the LBSCR turn their tank engine? No, why would you do that? I think it did for the big express ones, but no, not for the regular ones. It's the whole point of having tank engines. You don't need to turn them. Where's this set of points? There it is. Oh yeah, it's still got those wires in it, hasn't it? That's why it won't fire. Is that both of them out? There's the green one. Yep, that's both of them out. Excellent. That's the angle we want. Justice for Seaford. Not in between suburban cute runs. I've never seen a picture of an i3 running bunker first. Seaford is overall boring place. That's very true. But it was a rather lovely loco. Seaford is an interesting name. How would one ford the sea? Very, very shallow sea, obviously. Very entertaining loco though, indeed. But yeah, the i3s were, you know, express engines. I believe they did get turned. But, you know, things like Terriers and stuff, why would you turn them? But also, photographer's bias. If you are a railway photographer, when in an era where you are using very expensive film and glass plates, would you waste one of those on a tank engine running in reverse? Hope to catch up with you good folks soon. Take care, stay safe, sleep well, sleep soundly. Bye for now. Good night, Bob. Thank you for coming. Great to speak to you as always. I look forward to progress on those signals, and I hope things improve for you rather rapidly. Not like the i3s did the same job as the Terriers. No, the i3s ran the sunny south all the way. With no refueling. And everyone went, oh my god, this is an amazing engine. And the Brighton were like, well, obviously, it's a Brighton engine. Fairly sure there are some islands that are reached by crossing causeways that are only available at low tide. As tide comes in, could that be forded? That's very true. Very true. So you think Ross GWR large prayer is running in reverse. Yeah, what period are we talking about there, James? Even 1930s, iPhone centuries, they never seem to be turned 1930s. So the 1930s is after the London, Brighton, South Coast ceased to exist. So not comparable, really. One of that interesting one. So in the 1930s, the life freeze on secondary duties, they never seemed to be turned. Well, maybe, just maybe, the Great Western didn't have the same level of class as other railways. SR seemed to carry on the tradition of not turning LVSC tank engines. The SR seemed to carry on the tradition of not turning LVSC tank engines. These are the larger ones. As I say, you know, if you don't see i3s running in reverse and you do see Great Western Prairies running in reverse, maybe it is just that the Brighton and the Southern had more class than the Great Western. Go. LMS ran large tanks bunker first too. Yeah, the Brighton did. I know the Brighton did. I just don't think there's photos of it. But if you're running into a station with turning facilities and you've got time and you're going onto the shed to refuel, etc., why not turn it and run the correct way round? As I would, in that situation, definitely be turning the engine. Would accident reports give a better view of how often locos ran bunker first? I would expect they would be the best source. So if I'm taking photos on my expensive glass plates, I'm not wasting one on a tank engine that's running backwards. Right, so now it's just the red and the green that I've got to work out on here. So point is fired in one direction. When looking at Mike Morant's LBSCR tank engine gallery, there's a picture here of a Terrier running bunker first in 1906. Yeah, Terriers did. And a D1 in 1920. Again, these things ran on branch lines, so of course they did. There were no turning facilities. We have said that the small egg tank engines did, yeah, as Killian says. Right, so set as we are, we want the green on the frog. The D1 was at Clapham, so it could have come from anywhere. Could literally have come from anywhere if it's a Clapham, let's be honest. So we are to D. D wants to be green. And if you look up their head codes, you can see where they've been running and where they're coming from and to. And you can work out if they've been anywhere near a turntable at the end of the line. That was not attached well enough, so I had to get it back off. Yeah, we said that some of their tank engines did indeed run backwards. It's quite possible that the only time they didn't is when they were on a London to Brighton run. Some J's running bunker first in BR days, but that doesn't count. No, it definitely doesn't count in BR days. E1R bunker first, but possibly just shunting. No bunker. So no bunker first E's aside from that E1R. I've definitely seen pictures of E1s running bunker first. Real E1s, not E1Rs. And that was on 6 vans. So it seems as though, as others said, smaller ones were not turned, larger ones were. Well, that is what we said, yes. But of course, the E1R that you mentioned doesn't count regardless. Because it's not a Brighton engine. Quite where the E4 fall on this continuum is an interesting discussion. Your answer is going to be, did they run to a service that ended with a turntable? That's going to be the answer to it. Was there a turntable? Yes, turn the engine. No, probably best not to turn the engine. Because you'd have to pick it up. But yeah, I've seen E1s hauling goods services backwards. And since that's what they were designed for, and they were terrible at passenger work. So if intakes were always turned when turntable was available, but not otherwise, I think they definitely weren't turned where one wasn't. I think if they were running a service where they could turn it, they would. Well, why is uncommon on railways in the UK? Yeah, we don't have the same sort of space as you do in America. Yeah, many point turn running off the end of the line, Titfield Thunderbolt style. No, I just imagine the crew coming on, a driver on one side, fireman on the other, picking it up and turning it round. Interestingly, on a similar note, when I am playing Derail Valley, in which I drive a little four-wheel diesel shunter with the cab in the centre. It expects me to turn the loco the right way round. And I'm just sort of like, why? Okay, so finally compare what Catella's design. Oh. Yes, there we go. So it could be picked up and turned round. But yeah, literally starting the mission saying, you know, you've got loco saying you might want to turn your loco round so that it's facing the right way for your onward journey. It's like, no, not really. It's got four wheels and the cab's in the middle. Front and back don't matter to this thing. They matter even less when you're playing it in virtual reality and you can face out the back windows of the loco with the controls in your hand still. Just have to remember which one is which. And it is so much fun. Playing around on that game was worth the cost of the VR headset. And there we go. In theory, that is 2-point motors wired. You're a VR person interested in what is it like? I am. And it's fantastic. I love it. I am a huge fan of the virtual reality. Train singing. We're obviously not going to get another one done tonight. We've only got half an hour left. But let's at least plug in and make sure this one works. Yeah, I love the virtual reality on that game. That is technically enough to play shunting on the layout with. That one works. That one works. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? No, it's its own brand Orange Zero. No Fanta here. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm very happy with where we are. I'd have liked to have got them all done tonight, but oh well. And you can barely see the screws coming through the wall. But what I'm going to do now is grab my glasses now. I don't know, should I do this next? I don't really think I should. I could work through these with cutters right now, or they could be Dremeled tomorrow. Fanta Lemon is gorgeous though, it's best Fanta. Yeah, but I don't have any Fanta, so, you know. On the line side screws. Exactly. Gary's in virtual reality. No, I'm not. Tried blue Fanta recently, wasn't a huge fan. What flavour is blue Fanta? Don't destroy your cutters on those. That's what I thought, James. You're quite right. They should be Dremelled tomorrow. What I can, in theory, do, though, that I have been looking forward to doing, well, there they are. And I want this. Probably more this than these. Take that spring, because the point motors will hold these. It's a shame I can't fire it now because I've unplugged it all. But I've been wanting to actually take one of those off and test it for ages. So I should plug that back in, really, shouldn't I? I had to buy a new pair of Xuron cutters and try and cut one of those. Oh yeah, definitely. You don't want to use a good thing on good cutters on stuff like that. Dremel tomorrow, you'll get that finished. Dremel is the only way to go with those. Strawberry Fanta is too sweet. I'll take your word on that. I don't think I've ever had it. Dremel with all of the PPE because eyes are useful. It says on the bottle you have to, yes, suspicious eye, but I think blackcurrant. Interesting. Spring goes, wee, it does indeed. Are you also removing the spring-related bulk? Yes, that is the idea. So, there you can see, without the spring there, it fires all the way over and is still held very nicely. So there will be no need for spring-related rubbish there. And we can have a nice open set of points, not looking all ugly and springified. I will basically remove... Where's me pointers? There they are. This sleeper, this sleeper, this sleeper. And then just put some sleepers off some flexi underneath. I had to buy new sets of Euron cutters after someone at club borrowed mine and tried to cut steel rail with them. That was nice of them. Purple, they use blue to make hard to guess. Let the gubbin removal commence. I was just thinking we could do that actually. Let me unplug the transformer and stuff again. This obviously would have been easier to do beforehand, but I wanted to be able to play with the layout whilst I was setting it up. So it didn't, basically. No, you're not supposed to stay there, you silly knife blade. That is all the way through now. And then we want to cut down there, I suppose. And down there. Excuse it, apparently it was elderflower. Ah, fair enough. I found out who it was, but my cutters have dents in the blades. Ouch, yes. Been trying to get some elderberries planted in my field, and I've been having a hard time getting them. Maybe that's because Fanta are stealing them all to make their blue Fanta. That's my theory. That one's definitely disconnected. Make sure this one is as well. I'm not convinced this one is actually. Oh yes, it definitely is now. So now we want to cut along. And get all the chairs off. The rail is no longer held in them. So I say, much easier to do before you stick the points down, but makes it harder to play with. Oh yes, I've got those metal bits sticking up, haven't I? There we go. seem to have become very popular, thus expensive. Yeah, that I definitely blame whoever makes Fanta. And then in place of those, yeah, 2 will do nicely. As it should really, since what I've removed is 2 sleepers essentially. I'll have to remove the chairs from these without slicing through my thumb this week. There's the spring. Didn't go very far, did it? Slide those through, and doesn't that look better already? And we're not even done yet. Phil, gosh, family summer home, real home, not so much. Summer home, gosh, elderflower, champagne, stuff used for elder, and making deadly magic wands apparently. Sure, you only need to remove half the chairs and far side. You can slide the sleepers into place. Probably. But we're getting the effect we're after regardless. And then really we want to remove this other long one with all its extra stuff. But I don't really want to remove that one. What I'm going to try and do is cut these bits off it. Cut it down in length. And then we've still got the slide pads on here. Definite improvement? Yeah, I certainly think so. Then we'll remove a large portion of this slide bar on both sides. But we'll leave enough there that it still goes under the rail. And that is significantly better than any Pico point as it comes out the box. Don't look like Pico points anymore. No, they look Well, I mean, once you get up this end, it's a bit different. Still looks Pico, but yeah, that is much better than that, isn't it? I am very happy with the change that has made. And that is why I chose these point motors, because they have that mechanism to do the springing in them. The hydration is important. Now, I'd love to stick these down properly with some PVA and finish it off, but I was using the PVA in the living room earlier to do this, as you saw. And I thought, no, I won't need that today. I'll leave it in here. So it's in the living room, and as we showed earlier, I can't really get out of here to go there. So for now, I wouldn't normally do this. I'm just going to stick a little couple of drops of super glue. They will hold and they'll be fine with the super glue, but I'd rather use PVA. Servo point motors also work for spring removal purposes. They do, you are quite right. But I get on well with seeps and they have a lifetime warranty. So there's that. All my layouts have seeps. Most of them are... So in fact, all my layouts have seeps, which are usually pre-wired, and the idea being that all my point motors are wired the same. In fact, across all my other layouts, they are. Even the frog switch, what stuff and everything is wired the same, and all the point motors face the same way. And that means that I can have spare point motors pre-wired, ready, that if any of my layouts should have a point motor failure, I can just undo the screws, put the new one in. And because they're all on screw terminals, again, except for this layout, because I've lost them, there's no soldering to be done. If I'm at an exhibition and a point motor goes, I can have a spare sat there to just plug and play, replace. I have a good book called Drink Your Own Garden. It has lots of interesting ideas. Oh, that does sound interesting, says he who doesn't drink. We've got 15 minutes to go. Let's see. If we can destroy this one now. Oh, wait, I've not undone those yet, have I? And pop the spring. I approve of standardisation, so just proudly. Not just alcoholic drinks. Ah, excellent. For those that remember my birthday last year, you've all seen me drink because I drank on stream. And that was, quite genuinely, the last time I had an alcoholic drink. Which made it quite amusing when I got pulled over the other day for drink driving. I wasn't actually pulled over. Someone had phoned in and reported me, and they saw me walking back out to the van. They go, "This your van?" Yes. Had some reports that you've been drink driving. Need to breathalyse you and such forth. And so I let them go through it all. And their breath, takes about 15 minutes. I should point out that there were 2 cars and a van that had come to find me. So I said, so lots of resources being wasted there. But, they were, I was like, yeah, sure, fine. I don't mind. Breathalyze. It takes them about 20 minutes. They get me breathalyzed. Oh, it's come back in 0. Not had a drink today. But no, I've not had a drink since last August. No, they just looked at me gobsmacked. Like, yeah, I don't drink. And off they went. John has left the chat. Hydration. Well, yeah. I mean, non-alcoholic drinks. Hydration is very important. Right, I'm head off to Sleepy Town. Talk to you all later. Good night, Thomas. Thank you for coming. Great to have you here as always. Next time, don't run off to watch Sam's trains in the middle, though. Highly disgraceful. But yeah, they were really chuffed that they found me and they were going to get an arrest for drink driving. Only to discover they'd pulled over someone who may as well be a teetotaler. And it was a proper smug look on them. Like, as I walked over to the van, this police van shot across the road in front of me and blocked me from getting in the driver's door. I think my colleagues want to have a word with you. I was very confused by that, as you can imagine. The way she said it and the look on her face, it's like, you know what? I don't care what you want, but it ain't me. Wonder why they thought you'd been drink driving. Well, someone had apparently phoned them and reported them. The more they said, the more they should have known it was fake. Or some drunk putting a false report, maybe. But they said, oh, it's definitely you that we need. They've phoned in, they've given us your number plate, and they've described your van right down to those rust patches on it. I said, really? They described the rust patches. Can't have been driving very fast if they took in all of those and were able to give you notes, can I? Just looked at me and went, good point. Yeah, who has time to record all the blooming rust patches on the side of a van when you're calling it in for drunk driving? I certainly wouldn't. Odd how LBSR E14 have lost the worst plate in the post one livery. That is rather odd. Sometimes drunks drive extra slowly though. Well, that would be another good way to know I'm not drunk then. I am not known for driving extra slowly. Linny can confirm. Don't think there's anyone else here that's been in my van. Schumacher's got nothing on the acceleration of the Oakhill-mobile. Where were the works plates on the H2s? No idea. I assume somewhere. Let's do this only removing one side thing that James suggested, because we all know he's right. I shouldn't have really stuck those other ones down. I should have redone them like this, shouldn't I? Once we know that I can get them in under there anyway. There we go. They didn't want to go under, but they did eventually. No, that's no good. It's got to come off. Blocking the point blade. Chairs are coming off completely. There we go. Two much better looking sets of points. He says whilst looking around for that super glue. How do I lose everything? 'Tis indeed unfortunate, James. You are right. That they would have looked better, but yeah, can't really have them blocking the point blade. Seriously. Where did I put the super glue? There it is. I put it somewhere I never looked, which was obviously really sensible. And whilst we're at it, since we've only got a couple of minutes to go, we can cut another single sleeper off here. And that can slide into this gap. And we'll chuck some more super glue down on that one. I don't think there's anywhere else on here we actually need. Oh yeah, there is. There's 2 more extra sleepers we need. Down at the, probably only the one actually on that side. Super duper glue sticks fingers even quicker than models. That it does. Definitely not good for acrylic nails. No, I can imagine it's not. Luckily, I don't have acrylic nails. I don't think I'd be able to do anything with nails the size of yours. Yep, nail polish remover will remove super glue. Yes. As long as you don't do something silly like buy acetone-free nail polish remover. Well, acetone-based nail polish remover anyway. So it dissolves some plastics though. Yes, yes it will. So one more quick trip to this side. To cut those bits off. And there we go. We have 2 point motors fitted and suitably modified points to look much better than standard Pico ones. I am much happier with how they look. Treat my nails were very useful position transfers earlier. Well, I use this for that a lot. I should imagine I use cocktail stick for my transfers. Yes, cocktail stick would be a good idea. I've got a duster in here somewhere for cleaning the flux off my pin. I know I brought that in here earlier because I thought to myself, oh, shall I bring that in? Ah, it's hanging up away, that's where it is. No wonder I can't find it if it's away. But yes, there we are. It is now 1 minute past midnight. We have 2 point motors done. As I say, I won't bore you with the rest. I'll get them done off camera because I'm sure you don't want to sit through another potentially 2.5 live streams of this. That does not sound like my idea of fun. That's longer than it would have than we spent laying the track and getting it wired. But once I Dremel these off in the morning, in theory, the ingle nook is usable on this layout. So whilst we're not electrically complete, the point of the layout is good. Gosh, danger, the knife might cut them. And yet it never does. It's amazing how gentle I can be. Excellent progress this week. Well done. Thank you, Killian. Off cameras in 6 o'clock next Saturday. Yeah, you never know. It might be something like that. No, I'll be sat in here tomorrow night for the club Skype meeting. So I'll probably do some of it then. After that, I'll probably be working all week. So, you know. Point motors are the time consuming bit of that. Pun intended. Pun always intended, James. We're all here for the banter anyway. Well, yeah, I know that. I come here for the banter, let's be honest. But it would be nice if I could vary what you get to sit and watch, though. Banter and kittens. It's getting... Well done, it's getting there. Thank you, Paderborn. Useful railway facts. No, we have none of those. Working sucks, making model railways is far better. So, Rob, do you know what I do for a living? Because, you know, this is my job, essentially. I am a professional railway modeller. So, work does not suck. What, you mean it's not an audio only channel? No, apparently not. Apparently not. It wouldn't surprise me if many people do use it as one, though. But anyway, yes, it is 5 past midnight now. We should probably think about ending. Work pays. I'm well jealous. Yeah, work pays, and I do model railway. I literally... So, during the week, Rob, I work at the model shop in Eastbourne. From there, I pick up lots and lots of repairs. I spend almost every evening of the week in here repairing and building model trains for money. I, in fact, have above my head, too far, some shelves there. Those shelves all contain customer projects. And then I do also get paid for running this YouTube channel. I am a professional railway modeller. It's fantastic. He is Sam's Trains. No, I'm a railway modeller. I do actual modelling. Sam's Trains plays with toys. Very different. Camera pulls back. There are yellow chevrons. Yeah, yellow chevrons. Take your word on that. It's a cracking job, sir, and well done tonight. Thank you, Rob. It is the best job in the world. But yes, so thank you for coming, everyone. I have had a great time. I hope you have too. Those of you who are on the Discord, I look forward to speaking to you on the Discord all week. And I shall look forward to next week when we do some more on this. In theory, all the point motors will be done. We'll get some ballast down. We'll do some playing. I'll have to get a couple more wagons with fitted with couplings, as I've only got 6 that are actually fitted with couplings at the moment, and we need 8 to play with it properly. So I'll get that done through the week, and I shall see you next weekend. But for now, this has been Let's Build. I've been Gary, and you have been awesome as always. Good night.